Yes, I'm starting a proper daily vlog. I'm psyched. So this is the first vlog entry. But let me start this morning back in New York City. My friend Andy Spade, who's basically a genius, once said to me that work and family would make a great name for a business because that's all there is in life, work and family. And I couldn't agree more. If you can figure out work and you can figure out family, you will be happy in life. I want to talk about risk. As a guiding principle, life shrinks and life expands in direct proportion to your willingness to assume risk. Yeah, I've made some really stupid decisions in my career for my entire career. On a broad plane, they've all worked out. Every time I've quit my jobs, which I've done every time I've had a job, people that I trust most, the people that I love, all advised against it. My dad told me not to move to New York City because it was such a risk. And every time I took these bigger risks, the opportunity for a larger payout was always there. Life is like this super temporary, mega fragile thing. You only get like a nugget of time to really pursue the things you care about. And like I'm 30, and my rule is that the right time is always right now. To put a little meat on these bones, this new company that I don't really talk about, this new company is the biggest risk I've ever taken. I took 5 years of my life to build my advertising career, and I made like a lot of money. I've been doing really great. Look at my YouTube channel, go all the way back. The last branded content thing you'll see was in February of 2014. I ditched it all to pursue something I knew nothing about. This huge risk. And I did it at a time when my wife was pregnant and there was all of this vulnerability and all this scariness in my life. And even now at 33, my dad said, 34, my dad said, Casey, that's crazy. You've got a good thing, don't let it go. But I know that like someday I won't be able to do this. I know that the time is now. The right time is always now. So I had to do it. That's how I feel about risk in general. And that's what the struggle has always been for me, is like identifying risk, identifying fear, and then just smashing through it. Because a fear is looking back and wishing that I had done these things. The most dangerous thing you can do in your career, the most dangerous thing you can do in life is play it safe. Andrew wants to know, how do you surround yourself with the right people? That's a great question. I don't know how to surround yourself with the right people. What I do is like eliminate the bad people. If you're somebody that I don't want in my life, get out. Here's the thing about being mean. It's a lot easier to be mean than it is to be nice. So mean people, on top of being jerks, they're also lazy and they're uninventive. Being nice takes work. That's why I really like people that are really nice. Who would always talk about why they failed instead of how to succeed. Now, there's one simple reason why it's never ever okay to complain. And that is, there's always someone that has it worse than you do. Let me give that a little context. So when I think about some of the things in my life that I'd want to complain about, some of the really hard things, and then I give them any sort of real world context, they aren't that consequential. Let me get really specific. When I was 16 years old and I had to drop out of high school to get a terrible job to support my new baby, that was pretty rough. You know, that is a big enough excuse for me to justify any actions I take in my life. I know, but I couldn't do this because. To embrace that as an excuse to complain. But the truth is, that's not so bad. Dropping out of high school, like really not having much of a place to live, having no money, having a baby, being on welfare, like all those things really suck. But in the grand scheme of humanity, it's not that bad. Bear with me. I turn on my computer, I go to a news site, and the first story I read is about migrants from Myanmar that are stuck on a boat, stranded, because the Thai government won't let them into port. These are people just like you and me, and they're literally starving to death, and this is right now. I don't mean to be so extreme, but these are the things that I remind myself of anytime I want to complain or bitch about something in my life. You realize that there are people just like you and me who at this very moment are truly facing things we're lucky enough to go our entire lives without ever having to experience.
All right, Casey, what is your favorite quote?
Okay, it's in the foreword to a book called Herzog on Herzog. And the quote is something like, don't quote me on this, it's something like, never have a plan B. People with a plan B will invariably fall back on it. That's why they have it in the first place. It's a good one, right?
I like that. It's a good quote. Do you get bored?
No. And the reason why I don't get bored is because there's always a list, whether it's like in my head or literally on paper, I'm sure you're the same way, of things that need to be done. So anytime there's like free time that would be occupied by boredom, you just have, there's stuff to do, there's work to do. Do you ever get bored?
I do, but it's my own fault. If I'm bored, I gotta change it up.
Yeah,
so
change it up.
That's when I know that it's time to change.
I thrive on the constant stress that is having more things that I need to do than I have time to do them. I always keep a backlog of things that I need to do just in case I have a free moment so I can do that. I never want free time. Free time is the enemy of progress. I hope that doesn't make me sound crazy. I have my Snapchat set so anybody can send me snaps, like people I don't know, strangers and stuff. And the snap that I get the most are from people and it just says bored. Or it's like a selfie of them and they're like bored, nothing to do. How are there this many people that have all this time and no way to occupy it? You could build a city with all the free time that people spend sitting around being bored, sending me snaps of themselves sitting around being bored. The only thing in life that stands between you and everything you've ever wanted to do is doing it. What keeps you motivated? What keeps me motivated? Well, in short, I'm here. All of my dreams and aspirations are here. And the only thing in between these two is a bunch of work. So tackling that work is a way of moving this needle. That's all the motivation I need. I love progress in any manifestation. Yeah, motivation's never, I've never struggled with motivation, ever. Nicole asks, how do you get yourself out of a rut? Work. Work is the answer to a lot of problems. It cures depression, heartbreak, all those things. You just, when you're in a bad place, I bury myself with work. The progress and the physical activity and the brain distraction, it like breaks me out of anything. In life, you can get whatever you want, but you can't want whatever you want. That doesn't make any sense. Let me explain. If you truly are one of those people who commits a life to realizing a dream, you have to be a little crazy. John Balthazari says you have to be possessed.
Oh, fucking die!
I agree with that. If you are one of those possessed individuals, if you want it so bad, you will get it. But not all of us, not everyone wants it that bad. So when your kindergarten teacher said to you, Billy, Susie, you can get whatever you want in this world, she wasn't wrong. But those words mean very different things to different people. Here is a guaranteed way for you to realize your every dream. It's super simple. I'm gonna write it down. If you commit your entire life to a dream, you will find it. Because if you commit your everything, your entire being, there's only one of two possible outcomes. Number one, you'll find it. You will succeed. Number two, you'll die trying. And it won't make a difference either way. So that is a guarantee. That is a positively a guaranteed way to get there. For all the people who might not consider themselves possessed, dreams matter. Goals matter. And what they do is they serve as this guiding light that steers you through life. You keep your eyes fixed on that, and life may take you in all of these crazy trajectories, and along the way, you'll find what makes you happy. That pursuit may lead you to a place you could have never imagined, but a place where you're very, very happy.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
This is why there are a lot of really happy people out there who have jobs you've never heard of. It's because no matter what pursuit you choose, happiness, it is happiness that matters.
So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
Bear with me here, okay? You got your x-axis here, you got your y-axis here. These are the jobs you have in life. And here on your y-axis, you got your skills, your education, your experience, your value. And then this is you. Here's your first job. Maybe it's at McDonald's, maybe it's at Burger King, maybe you're washing dishes, but you do gain skills, education, and experience. Your value increases. Now the minute you're no longer going up, the minute your trajectory starts to plateau, you have to move on to job number 2. And job number 2 should increase your value. When you've expired this job, you find job number 3. The moment you stop going up and you start to go like this in any one job, and this gap gets big here, that's when it's time to change things. This plateau, which is comfort, when you're doing the same thing day in and day out at your job, is when your value starts to atrophy. If it's not going up, it's actually going down, because the rest of the world just keeps moving. This is the only trajectory to do in any career. Now, this doesn't mean you have to be quitting your job every 6 months. This doesn't mean anything like that. But at your job, you should always be asking yourself, am I learning new things? Am I increasing my value? And if the answer is no, work harder and find that opportunity, or maybe find a new job. So Jack's a really good example of this. Yeah, he's been with me for a long time, but he's never moved laterally. His value is always going up. This is true for every job I've ever had. When I was washing dishes, I was learning how to cook. And before I left that job in the restaurant, I was a line cook. I wasn't just a dishwasher. Every job I've had in my entire career, I was like an orange. And the minute there's no more juice to be squeezed from that orange, I let it go and I move on. Is lens dirty? All that rain and snow. Don't use lens caps, that's better, yeah? My original idea, someone else told this to me, but it's great. It was a great piece of advice that I'm happy to share. I believe in something called the Tarzan Method. And what that means is, you are Tarzan, me Tarzan, starting on this side of the jungle, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, they're the other side of the jungle. And there's no straight line through the jungle. You know what, let me do an animation for you here. The Tarzan Method. What that means is you're Tarzan, you're here, and you want to get to the other side of the jungle here. Ideally there's this straight line, but what you find in life, what I've found in life, this is non-existent. This straight line here is a unicorn, it doesn't exist. Instead, you reach and you grab onto whatever vine you can grab onto and you swing. And that vine might carry you in this direction, which doesn't feel like the right direction to your goal, but it does get you a little bit closer. And then you grab onto another vine, it swings you all the way over here, a little bit closer. And then you swing in this direction, and then this direction, and 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 eventually you make it to where you want to be. But the beauty of the Tarzan Method, the kind of the magic of being open-minded in your pursuit, is that like these unknowns, like where it might take you that you didn't imagine, that's usually where you find something that is actually what your goals are. I don't believe that there is a straight line between where you are and where you want to be in life ever. Not with family, not with romantic interests, and especially not with your career. So an open-mindedness, even if it looks like this, will yield results and outcomes that otherwise would have been unforeseeable.